Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As I've been moving my aquariums into my office, I decided it'd be best to build a DIY light stand for this setup in particular. So I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so this right here is the light stand that I made when it was on the black stand. It's just a 1/2-inch EMT pipe that was bent at a curve 90 degrees. And then it's fastened onto these ply boards, which then sit flush under the two lips of the aquarium stand, which kind of hold it in place with the weight of the tank. And I was gonna just unscrew it and put it on here on this side, but I don't think the black is gonna look good. So I think I still have some EMT pipe. Maybe I'll just bend another one and keep it chrome and just use that. All right, so this is the EMT pipe. It's a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna measure out 7 feet and cut it, and then I'll take it to the other room and bend it there. All right, so we're actually gonna do about 7.5 feet. I think I might need a little bit more with this one, but I'd rather have more than less. So I'll just start cutting on here. All right, so I'll be using this 1/2 inch EMT pipe bender thing. Now, I'm not gonna pretend to know exactly how to use this thing, but part that I remember correctly, and as I know that I need to line up here where I want to make my bend, and if I remember, it's, so it's, okay, yeah, so it takes 5 inches to get to this arrow. And so if you're gonna bend, you need to take those 5 inches into consideration. So I believe you subtract it from the total length you need bent. So the stand is 32.5 inches. So I'm gonna subtract 5 inches from that, which is what, 27.5, and mark it. And that's where I'm gonna wanna bend, at the 27.5 mark. Because as I'm bending this, those 5 inches that I need are going to be made up in this. I think that's how it works, but honestly, I do not use this on the regular. I think it's the third or fourth time, and I'm going to go look at a YouTube video just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Please don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Don't blame me for anything if you use one of these. Oh, this is the most expensive purchase when it comes to making these, what do they call it? Light stands. This thing cost me about 60-70 bucks. The pipes are like $7-8, and yeah, so here we go. All right, so I saw another video, and I think, even though I explained it horribly, the idea is correct. So we're gonna measure approximately 27.5. Approximately. I have to open it up a little bit. I think I went too far. Anyways, let's go see what it looks like on next to the tank. All right, so I noticed that it had a bit of a bend, like it was too sharp, like it was going down too quickly. So I just popped it open a little bit, but we'll see how it looks on here. And go from there. And don't mind the painted shirt, but yeah, so not bad at all. it's a bit long. I feel like it went just a little bit over the edge of the table, so I might cut it, I might not, we'll see. The nice thing about this is it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. The focus is always going to be on here, but obviously if you want to make it look more aesthetically nice, then maybe taking off about a ½ inch there, just so it lines up with the edge of the stand will be good. But yeah, so what we'll do now is I'm gonna drill a couple of pilot holes here and here, so I can hang my hanging kit in reverse. So I'll show you what that means, but it's worked really well before, and I'm just gonna do it again. All right, now because we want to try to make the lights hanging kit as centered as possible, there's a little bit of math here that I had to do. So the stand is 32.5 inches long, and from here to the edge, from edge to edge to the aquarium is about 4.5 inches. So I'm going to take it in about 9 inches on each side, and that's where I'm going to want to drill my holes so that they're hanging almost like in thirds, not really though, but almost as equally apart from each other. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. My last one wasn't, and it looks just fine. Like again, it's not such a huge, doesn't make such a huge impact if it's not absolutely perfect, but obviously I want to try to make it as nice as possible. So we're going to go with this. So I'm going to measure this part. I'm going to go in here 9 inches, drill a hole. Technically I could go 14.5 and drill another hole, or we can do from the edge of this side 9 inches and drill a hole. So we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Also, so this is the part that the light hanging kit works with. So you've probably seen them, but essentially the line goes through here, comes out through here, and it keeps it tight so that you can then clip your light on something like this and it hangs right from it. So a lot of people usually do it this way, like it's hanging from a ceiling and they drill it in. This way they drill it in to the top, this here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the hole on the EMT thick enough or wide enough for this piece to go through so that it'll sit right on it. And because of the weight of the line and the light, it just keeps it in place. And then I can always adjust it as freely as I want to or remove it altogether. Super easy. So, assuming the math is okay, again, we're gonna go about 9 inches. About there. And I want to try to get it at the top, so that should be good. There we go. See? It sits right on there. So now we just got to make the hole go through. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to keep drilling through here so that it comes through on the other side. And then I'm going to take this part in. Again, you can either measure from here, 9 inches, or I think I was saying 14.5, and it should give us 9 inches remaining. So we'll do that and get back to you. All right, so this is the part of the build that's probably the most difficult if you're doing it on your own, but with 2 people, it's not so bad. What we're gonna do is essentially use the fasteners for this type of pipe, and we're gonna drill it directly into the stand. Now, I don't particularly like drilling directly into stands. In this one though, because I don't have a lip that I would normally do it my other way, I'm just gonna have to do it. So I have these half-ish conduit straps. You can find these everywhere. They're usually in the electronic piping section along with the EMT. So this is a 1/2 inch, so it goes right on there. And essentially I'm gonna pick where I wanna put it and fasten it on. And I'm gonna use probably 2 of them. Ideally, in the future, I'd like to make like a slider version of it so that we can move the light front to back. Because obviously, depending on the type of aquascape you're going to set up, that might dictate where you want to put your light. For me personally, I like my lights more on the back third of the aquarium, especially if I'm going to do like a contest tank, which I hope to do with the 60p once more, because if your light's in the back, it creates better shadows in the front. So I already know I'm going to do that, which is why I'm going to try to fasten this more on the back third of the stand. So something probably along here. It doesn't have to be too gradual. Like this is half here. I'm just moving it over maybe like 1.5 inches. But I'll do 2 here. The difficult part with this is making sure that you have it straight, right? You don't want to have it leaning too forward or too back. It's not going to be perfect for me in the way that I'm doing it, but I'm sure there are ways to make it. Like I don't have like a laser or anything like that to help me guide. I'm just gonna use a good old balance and go with it. So yeah, the first thing I want to do is kind of decide where I want this to go, because once you get the first one in, the second one is easy to place. It's the first one that you kind of have to know where you want to put it. Oh, another thing. These edges will scratch your floor. So I am going to place something underneath it once I'm done. Right now I'm going to use a glove for the time being until you can buy, there's plastic caps that you can buy, or even rubber ones that might even be better, that you can just slide right on, which is great because this area, unless you sand it down, which why bother? Just you put a cap on it, same on the other end. You probably do want to sand though the holes that you drilled where the line goes through. Oh my gosh, this is the worst Sharpie I could have chosen. All right. Okay, just some standard wood screws. You could probably pick some that won't rust as well, in case you're a messy cleaner and not so. So we're going to do the same down here. That is not going anywhere. And I can still, I might loosen it, but I can still technically slide it up or down. So when it'll come time to put the little piece at the bottom to keep the wood at the bottom fine, protected, it'll be good. For now, I'm just going to use a little slab of wood that I have. All right, so this is what we have so far. We just fastened everything to the side there, and it's not bad. I mean, it's a little up, but not enough for me to go about trying to bend it again. I think it's good. It's actually a decent length as well, so I'm okay with that. And then here we have the hanging kit, and like I said, we're going to be putting the holes like this, and it's going to hang on just fine. The other one's here. I would recommend sanding these down if you get like you like to mess around with your stuff, because you can get it minor cuts if you're not paying attention too much, but these actually aren't so bad. All right, let's get this light on. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put our hanging kit. So we're going to feed this line through the bottom, and then this is going to go through here. Oh, this is where I bend it. Funny how this is like more frustrating than the other part. Come on, there we go. There we go. And so like I said, that just sits. Careful. It just sits around there, and because of the weight of the light, it's not going anywhere. Okay. Obviously, you can pull it out this way, but even if that were the case, if your light comes up, it's going to stop here. Now, you can cut this. I don't, only because I literally was just using it from a ceiling earlier and was using almost all of it. So I don't want to waste it. So I'll deal with the extra afterwards. Sometimes I usually just like wrap it around the post. So we'll do the other one. There we go. I gotta feed it through there. All right, I'm just gonna take care of the wire and go from there. All right, there we go. The DIY light stand. We still have a few things to do, like I want to make this look nicer, just the way we have the wires all, or the line all crumpled up. And then also the electrical line that's here, I'm going to fasten it so it runs along with the pole, and so it's not hanging there on its own. I'll probably just use zip ties. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's the least complex. And in the end, the focus is going to be here. Again, what I think we did all right with this. I think we probably could have used it a little touch more on this side, so maybe just my measurements on the holes were just a little off, but not enough to bother me. If it's really a bother, I can just shimmy the tank over, you know, a quarter of an inch or something like that, and it'll look more even. But I think we got this length pretty bang on. The bend is good. We fixed it so it's not dipping so much to one side. It's fastened on there. We'll be able to move it up and down if we need to, even though again, won't really be necessary because of the hanging kit. And I really enjoy this type of light setup because I can't stand having a light really close to here. I like it, and especially since I like having hardscape that's exposed at the top to some degree as well. Let me know what you think. Yeah, go ahead and comment below if there's anything you would do different, or if you've set up a light and you've done it a different way. You know, share that knowledge. It helps everyone. I by no means take any credit for this. I probably saw it on Reddit or something like that. As far as like using EMT to make a stand, and everyone can go about it their own way. It's not hard to do. I don't consider myself a handy person, but I really enjoy making these because it probably took me, with the recording and all that, about just under 3 hours. So if you weren't recording, you'd probably do it a little bit faster. But yeah, my recommendations, get a few of these rods. You'll always mess up on the first one with that bend. I have one that's just a practice one. Fasteners, they're all really cheap and stuff. I'll make a list in the description for all the items that I used. You can spray paint this with metallic spray paint. I have a black one just like it for my black stand. That goes really well, but I like this industrial look for this particular setup because of the white finish and whatnot. So yeah, give it a thumbs up if this worked out, share it, give me a follow if you want to see other stuff. I do plan on aquascaping this. I do want to record it. I'm hoping to do an IAPLC layout for next year if time permits. And then of course, with this space, I do want to also set up other aquariums and move things over and whatnot. So I'd like to, if you'd like to see that, go ahead and follow along. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.